Good day, distinguished audience. I am Professor Bashiru Adeniyi Omipidan, Director, Center for Open and Distance Learning, presenting on behalf of the University of Ilorin. The topic of our discussion is the pedagogical affordances of the Metaverse in the open and distance education. Introduction on distance education. Distance education over the years has gained prominence around the world. Literally, distance education is poised to mean educating at a distance. This is a form of education where the teacher and the learners are not at the exact location simultaneously. Distance education is a method of education whereby the learner is distant bodily from the source of the instruction. Frank 2008 is the source. Evolution of distance education. This can be found in the following area: correspondence learning, broadcast learning, internet and web evolution. As far as correspondence learning is concerned, it includes mailing postcards to effect instructional transactions. For broadcast learning, we have use of broadcast media, and for internet and web evolution, we have e-learning, online learning, synchronous and asynchronous learning, virtual learning. Distance education now. Distance education has grown to become inseparable from technology. The breakthrough in technology in the 21st century has simultaneously paved the way for an exponential breakthrough in distance education. Moreover, the high influx of emerging technologies has found its way into the realms of distance education, influencing how instructional content is presented to the learners and the pedagogical affordances. Defining Metaverse. Metaverse is a coinage of two separate words, meta and verse. Meta means beyond or after. See Merriam-Webster dictionary. The word verse is from the English word universe. Therefore, in literal term, the word metaverse can mean something that is beyond the universe. The Metaverse. Neil Stevenson ideates the Metaverse in his 1992 book titled Snow Crash. The Metaverse is a virtual world where human beings can interact and relate with each other through avatars in tridimensional space, according to Stevenson. See also Schema and Beck's 2015. Metaverse gained more traction since the Facebook announcement of the change from Facebook to Meta. Metaverse is the post-reality universe, a perpetual and persistent multi-user environment merging physical reality with digital virtuality. See Mistakidis 2022. It's also an integrated network of 3D virtual worlds that create a compelling realm for human socio-cultural interactions. Bionocchio et others 2013. The underlying purpose of the Metaverse is to offer 3D, immersive and personalized experiences to its users by leveraging many pertinent technologies. See Edekalu and others 2022. The Metaverse will build the 3D virtual internet. See Bot 2020, Juice 2022, Schema and Web 2015. We won't have access to the internet again, but be within the internet with tons of interconnected computers and users. Pedagogical affordance. Affordances are typically construed as possibilities for action offered by an environment, such as a chair. A chair affords one to sit. People affords one to talk, while stairs afford one to climb. The concept of affordance is mostly used in the field of design. Affordances is also from the root word afford, which means make it possible to do something. Metaverse in pedagogical context. This can be seen under observability, practicability, and solvability. When we say observability, what we are saying is, what can I get out of teaching with the Metaverse? That is teacher-driven education. What about practicability? How can I make learning happen in the metaverse through collaboration with others. That is learner-driven education. Solvability. How can I learn as an individual or group? By examining questions and problems through the metaverse. That is problem-driven question. Observability affordances. The observability context deploys a teacher-driven approach to teaching and learning, also referred to as the instructor-led teaching, ILT. The ILT is when an instructor facilitates a teaching or training session for a group of learners or an individual. Usually, it is in a form of synchronous learning. Observability affordances focus on how the metaverse can make teaching more visible, reachable, and understandable, and how the teacher is felt present with the topic and by the learning audience. See Ihanen 2022. Observability sub-affordances. Observability encompasses 3 sub-affordances, namely structuredness, clarity, and attractiveness. When we say structured, what we are saying is that what feature of the metaverse facilitates or inhibits the teacher's integrated dynamics of content, content presentation, and elements of content in domains of learning? Clarity. How can the metaverse facilitates or inhibits the flow of instructional presentation? Attractiveness here means how can the metaverse project the teacher's personality to the learner's experience? Practicability affordances. It evokes participatory activities. It looks beyond pure inclusiveness and access. Practicability also encourages and demands active participation for the learners to make, do, collaborate, and interact. Practicability also consists of the following sub-affordances: openness, joinability, and dialogability. Openness means how can the metaverse create a unique event of participation that are neither restricted nor coordinated in any way. Joinability. How can the metaverse make the learners to feel welcome, encourage them to take part, willing to affiliate with an ongoing activity or initiative? From dialogue, we have dialogicality. How will the metaverse ensure responsive interaction? Solvability affordances. It speaks about situation in which an activity is to take place, where a problem is to be worked on, or in which there is a phenomenon to grasp that is potentially and temptingly present in Adeniyi 2022. Solvability affordances also is an intentional and goal-oriented. Solvability combines elements of observability and practicability. It happens when the partakers can observe a learning situation and then share their observations among themselves and propose a solution to the situation at hand. Solvability sub-affordances. This can be found under 3 sub-affordances. Recognizability means a modification of observability. It answers the question of how can the metaverse facilitate or inhibit learners' ability to recognize a problem or challenge. Recognizability. This also improves on the affordances of practicability. It probes the question of what constructive activity can the metaverse afford to meet the recognized challenge. Traceability on the other hand. This means how will the metaverse create a path to trace, analyze, and conclude a worked-on challenge. In conclusion, the metaverse is structured similarly to the present-day internet. It also affords all the present-day internet can afford, but with a layer of true interactivity to it. Metaverse ensure that as far as open and distance learners are concerned, they will no longer feel isolated as it used to be, but they will be immersed in the teaching and learning process through a layer of reality the metaverse can offer. Instruction-led teaching will no longer be the type that makes the students passive, but more engaging through 3D virtual interactions. In the past, Zoom fatigue and reduced productivity have been identified as one of the paramount challenges of the synchronous teaching and learning process in open and distance learning. This will now be a thing of the past because the metaverse will no longer make participants to be passive, but just watching the meeting, but they will actively participate in the meeting by walking to the venue, walking out of the venue, having a chat with other participants, raising hands to ask a question, standing up, sitting down, amongst others. Code emotional expression, a scenario where a user have limited options to express their feelings through smiley and emojis. Mr. Kids 2022 will improve upon in the metaverse. The problem of internet access among developing countries could still cause a setback in the universal adoption of the technology. In summary, the metaverse will surely extend learning opportunities in open and distance education. Not all is known yet about the metaverse and its offering to the open and distance education. There is more to learn through empirical studies of how metaverse could impact the learner's academic performances. More insight is still required to understand how metaverse can influence pedagogy and vice versa. Appreciate us all. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.